Hi, in this episode we are going to prepare everything needed for the incoming video, in which we are going to create a intro animation and something silly, but more about that in a moment. My name's Pawel, I make games and hope you will have fun today. I'm not gonna hide that this is only a primitive version of Mr. Bean's sitcom intro. If you are able to do something better on your own, or you just don't want any animations in your start screen, you may freely skip this episode or relax and look at the code we are going to write. I'm going to show you the code that is quite easy to write, but it becomes larger and larger. Even in a tiny game like this one, it will be quite big, so you shouldn't use it anywhere except in a project like that. Treat it as an experiment. In this episode we only prepare for that, but very soon I'm gonna upload a video with this junk code only. That way I think I'll manage to keep this project a little bit more organized and separate the weakest point of it from everything else. Maybe this will be interesting for you, so let's go! First we will need to open up our sprite sheet and add some sprites to this start scene. First we need a light, which is number 33, and we need to move it to the center and a little bit up. Let's rename it quickly. And we also need a copy of the player in T-pose, which is number 0. We need to make her land somewhere over there. So let's create a new empty game object and let's use it as our first go-to point of this animation, landing position. And we also should rename this player. Now to grab the position of the player, let's for example make it a child object of the player copy and reset its position. Then we need to move it away and we got it. Now let's duplicate it and go to the scene view. Double click on the game object to zoom in and we need to move it to the left. This will be our second go-to point of this animation and I don't have any ideas for the name except go-to point. For now it won't work because as we leave this light beam we are still fully visible. We will need to cheat a little bit in the future to make it work, but for now we don't need to care about that. Now let's move her up because she needs to fall, and as we see we need to change the order in layer because she hides behind this beam. We also need a new canvas if we want to show authors of this game, just like in the Mr. Bean video. There we will need some Text Mesh Pro game objects. Let's create one. It will be a usual stuff, which means uppercase, centering in both axes, and changing the font. Now we need to change the color of this text to make it more visible, and we also need to make it smaller so it actually fits in our light beam. It's time to move it down somewhere near the center of this light beam and change its name. There we probably need to write something like made by author 1. And now let's just duplicate it and change 1 to 2. And let's change made by to music, for example. And let's duplicate it one more time. Now it will be graphics. And instead of the author 2, it will be author 3. Now let's select everything and make it inactive. It's finally time for some coding. I hope you're glad to hear that. We'll need some new variables in the game manager, so let's copy this header and paste it below. It isn't a local scenes, but start scene. and now we are ready to copy and paste this line to quickly create a new array of game objects, authors. We'll also need a public transform player copy because we will be moving it. What else do we have? We have a landing point, start scene go to point, and this light beam will be inactive at the beginning and we need to set it active, so let's grab it somehow. It's time to scroll down and make this start game function much bigger. First of all, we will change this delay from 0 to 7. It will be enough for the animation. And now let's think about what do we need inside. We'll need to hide the text we start with, show light sprite, move the player down, play landing animation, and in our case it will be the same as use animation, move the player to the left and show authors. And it looks like we also need to grab this text from the beginning, so let's add a new public game object, start scene canvas. And maybe let's move this start scene light to this line, and now we will just use its game object, not the sprite renderer. If you want a challenge, you may pause this video and do as much as you can by yourself. To be honest, it will take a while, and that's also the reason why we need to stop this video right there. I believe that dividing all of that into many short videos about a specific topic make this whole tutorial way less chaotic. A new video is coming this or the next day, but for now, have a good day and see you soon!